Hello and happy Monday. Um, it's Kat Kruger here. My pronouns are she, her, and I am doing a playthrough of Thousand-Year-Old Vampire. It's my first time playing this game. It's been on my list for quite some time. Um, and I'm playing Mila Lugosi. Do a quick review of what we've done so far. But yeah, it is this beautiful, beautiful book here. I love the gold foil on it. It's gorgeous. Um, yeah, so I am, like I said, this is my first playthrough. We did character creation around right before the holidays, and then I started streaming last week was session one, and I generally play through these fairly slowly, um, like drawing out, thinking about the experiences of the characters that I'm playing. Um, Getting chat involved is always fun. So Mila is so named by Jane the Geek from chat. And she is, so I wanted somebody who was sort of representative of my myself in some ways, um, in terms of where she comes from or her, in some sort of historical context. So I wanted somebody who was both European and Asian. So decided that she would be from what I'm calling Sibir, like a Siberia type border region. Um, she was a merchant, an older woman who was also handed down the business from her father, who was still alive when she was turned. Um, and she had really great horse handling skills. She was really um, she had a really good friend in the village who was the village sage named Babustasia. She also had a nemesis named Alton the Rash. There was a double meaning for his name because I'm playing this like what we do in the shadows type of vampire. Because my channel is generally pretty cozy, and I try to make it more PG or PG-13 at the most. If anybody here is followed from my time at D20 Dames, that's most of what I specialize in or do is the content that I adventures that I write are generally in that vein. Although I do creep into gothic horror frequently, but even then, nothing. I'm not going to describe anything too gruesome. So um, we have a little bit of her backstory, and so she was turned when she saw just the flicker of a shadow um, in the horse stalls, and one of her horses fled the stall. Hi, Socialist. Hi. Just doing a little recap here. Um, so she ran into the woods after the horse, who was being attacked by Strigoi, and she was turned. Subsequently, so her nemesis Alton the Rash basically got her friends in the village to turn on her. So Baba Stasia came with Alton to the stalls, witnessed her suddenly being able to move really quickly, even though she's also her mark is basically like she's a hopping vampire. Hi Andy, nice to see you in chat. Um, yes, I don't know if you were here last week. She's got this very slow walk that she's kind of put on because she doesn't want to show that she's got this hop. So she has a a cane now. Um, However, she also developed like these really fast predatory skills. So Baba Stasia witnessed this with Alton, as a horse reared up from her, you know, clearly she's a vampire to horses. Um, and she just very quickly moved out of the way. They witnessed it, called her, um, and called her vampire, and then attacked. And she just like, the predatory reflexes kicked in, and Baba Stasia, as a result, deceased. Um, so she fled to the woods, and then a little bit of time passes, and we discover that she's living with two strigoi. She was living in the woods with two strigoi, the one that turned her and another one. Um, they're named Stanislav and Fyodor, um, and it's eventually going to be shortened to Stanley and Jeff. Um, but yeah, so she's sort of like they entered into a blood feud, in which we learned a new word that I has com- completely left my brain at this point. But they entered a blood feud and over a title deed, and somehow Mila convinced them, because one of her skills was persuasive. Um, she convinced them to give her the title of nobility, and now she's been using that to take over a manor, and what else can I say? She The Strigoi are still with her. She owns a merchant vessel now because um, she discovered that there was a shipping route going through the area, and so now she owns a merchant vessel called the Merry Merchant. And what else can I say about the recap here? She Oh, we left off with her. There was a journal prompt that she has um, what is it? Mastered a new science or field of knowledge. And we were doing a little bit of research at the end of the stream last week, and I was trying to think of a word. Um, yeah, yeah, vampires can just help themselves to property like ships. Exactly. um, she so yeah, I was trying to think of a word because we were talking about bloodletting, because the prompt is, you master a strange new science or field of knowledge. How does your vampire nature give you special insight into these studies? Create an appropriate skill based on a memory. Um, so I was thinking that um, could be something like bloodletting, but more specifically, I found the word um, phlebotomy, because it was just in my one of my social media. There's a conversation that I saw, and it was like, that's the word that I was looking for. It was very fortuitous. So phlebotomy is what I'm thinking. The other bit of homework that I did was I was looking because I thought that with the memories, I might have been not recording them in a way that really was they're supposed to be recorded. And so I think I have a better understanding of how the memories are recorded. So if you're looking at the journal entries on Patreon, I did rearrange some stuff, because you can have up to 5 memories, but the memories are like, I guess, folders for experiences. So you can have 3 experiences within each memory. But if you need to record a new memory and you have 5 memories already, you have to like delete um, one of the memories, because there's just so much room in this vampire's mind. So I've sort of rearranged my journal a little bit to accommodate that. I'm not really 100% sure I'm happy with how these are organized, but I'm gonna just switch my view here so you can see. Yeah, exactly, Andy. What is the Eastern European vampiric version of Yoink? Oh, I forgot to plug in my journal. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? All right, here we go. So first memory I just put as like occupation. It's like the memory of like her existence. I have the merchant one there, and then so she's studied navigation now, and um, so now she's still a merchant, I think. I don't know, noble merchant, Schnick. That's a good one. Then I put her home memories with her father, her enemies, her old friend's gift, so that's Baba Stasia. But I had like the idea of being a double entendre because Baba Stasia was supposed to be like a sage as well, not just the person who gave her that evil eye dagger. And then Strigoi. So is that five? One, two, three, four, five. Yeah. So the next time I require adding a memory, I'm going to have to delete one of these memories. All right, so I have to base this skill, let me read that journal entry again. You master a strange new science or field of knowledge. How does your vampire nature give you special insight into these studies? Create an appropriate skill based on a memory. It's probably going to be like, the memory of maybe the memory of the Strigoi feasting on her horse, and then just sort of like the as a vampire, she's probably got a lot of experience like bloodletting. So I think this is probably a natural thing. So I'm going to add phlebotomy here. And that's not right. Phlebotomy slash bloodletting. So in the research that I did, this is bloodletting has been around for a long time, and I think we had this conversation last week too. Like from the 1000 BC, was it 1000 BC? I don't like it's been around for a long time. But then in the medieval ages, there was a surge in this because of the concept of the four humors, and you know, um, there were barber surgeons. Wild that this lasted for so long. So I think this is a great prompt and a great opportunity for Mila to become a bloodletter on the side here. Um, all right, so one of the things here is that I reviewed in the rules of this RPG is what is it? So an experience, just to reiterate from last week. So an experience is just like one line. It can be one evocative sentence, and it's supposed to be um, the result of a prompt. So I think maybe what I'll do is I will write that memory first, and I am going to put it under occupation, I think. Oops. Um, what do we say here? All right. So Mila writes, after many years' experience of bloodletting, I have used my knowledge to master the new science of phlebotomy. And then I have to write a journal entry. This one's going to be a little bit more interesting. Um, let's see. Trying to think of an interesting way of approaching this. So she's probably heard about a barber surgeon in town. Maybe she gets Stanley and Jeff to get a haircut and discovers this barber surgeon situation. Mm, Mm, let's see. So she's in the village. The villagers are staring, and I don't think hygiene is the right word I'm looking for here because medieval hygiene is not, I don't know, upkeeping their appearances, I think. They look unkempt. That's exactly it. What's the opposite of reek? Um, you can tell I did not sleep very well last night. Um, words are not coming very quickly right now. I'm gonna just go back here. Great, they've become. All right, done with this journal entry, I think. Um, all right, so Mila writes, when s- when strolling through the village at night for our constitutional, I have noticed villagers staring at my companions. They have become unkempt and must upkeep their appearances. So I summoned the barber, whose place of business was filled with the bouquet of blood. It was all we could do to control ourselves. I leaned close and inquired about the scent, for which he apologized, then said he was also a barber surgeon. I have spent much time since exploring this new science of bloodletting. All right, so we have a new skill acquired. Um, this should be fun. I I also need to get my D10 and D6 out because we're going to roll for another prompt here. D10, D6. Yeah, I'm not sure I would have either. I can't even look when I get a needle in my arm. Yeah, both my it's funny because like of my whole family, I'm like the odd one out because I pursued a creative profession, and both my parents are actually in they worked in hospitals. All right, so I'm gonna roll here. I got a 5 and a 5 on the 10 and a 1 on the 6, so that is a 4. So I have to move ahead 4. Let me change my highlighter. So that brings us to 27. I wonder which war this is going to be. So it says wars rage throughout the region in which you reside. You withdraw into a hidden retreat, waiting for them to pass. Lose a resource. Time for some history research. Wars in Siberia. Let's see if that's. All right. Russian conquest of Siberia happened in 1580. I don't know if that's too far ahead. I'm going to just very quickly look through my journal here just to see the first like 7 or 8 journal entries were supposed to be a little bit closer together before um, um, what do you call it, moving ahead in time too much. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see if we can find one that's closer in time. Let's see, wars in Eastern Europe. Here we go. We were in 13th century. Okay, so what do we have here? um, there were some Mongol invasions in a lot of these areas. That seems, let's see. Looking at a map here. Oops. I'm gonna say that it's Mongolian invaders, sort of like going through the area, because it looks like there was quite a lot of that movement in this time period. What resource do we lose though? Mm, bitches. Um, I'm gonna go with caravan wagon. I think it just gets uh, maybe taken. Yeah, if they need to retreat, um, maybe they'll retreat into the mountains or back into the woods. Yeah, I think they had to leave it behind, and it probably um, probably gets like lost to time, or somebody takes it. Um, that means I need to add something here. I'm probably gonna put it um, under here with the strigoi. So the experience. Oh, hold on. I can only have 3 experiences. 1, 2, 3. Probably put it under home then. She loses something from home, from her previous life. Okay, so she writes, this is in her memories of home. War rages in the region as Mongolian warriors ride through in conquest. They have lost the caravan wagon that once belonged to my papa. And then I have to write a journal entry to sort of describe what actually happens. That's just the resolution of everything. Hi, Jane. Yes, um, bloodletting. That is, that's where we left off last week, and I discovered in social media just random conversation that crossed my feed. The word phlebotomy came up. That's exactly the word I was looking for. All right. Mm. Okay, so Andy, this is hilarious because it was randomly discussed. Um, it was randomly being discussed in a complete like this was not my thread. It just popped up in my feed. It was randomly being discussed because somebody had I think it was a character concept of being a vampire bloodletter phlebotomist. Um, how random, right? But yes, no reasons. um, let's see. Oh my gosh, why can't I write? All right, here we go. Um, so Mila writes, riders have come through the area. At first they seemed out of place, but they were scouts. The region is being invaded. I do not have time in my unlife for this nonsense. We have fled to the mountains to allow time to pass. How long can a war last anyway? Okay, so who knows how long this war is going to last. I think this is probably the big chunk of time where, you know, um, she loses some decades here. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Yes, I definitely have time for this. Everyone dead. She is washing her hands of this whole situation. Um, let's see. We need to roll again to see what prompt we get. So far, I haven't rolled any negatives, so I haven't gone back in the journal prompts. 10 and a 6. That's another 4, so that brings us to 31. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is very fitting. You fall into a deep slumber for 100 years. Strike out any more mortal characters. Oh my gosh. Yep. Here we go. All right. Strike out any mortal characters. Here we go. So we have, well, Baba Stasia already passed away. Poor Invictus, gone. Alton, gone. Nikolai, gone. All right. I wonder where I add this memory now, though. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Socialist violence, so good. That weird thing when you mean to take a 20-minute nap and wake up wondering what day it is. I am 100% putting that in the journal entry when I get to it. Oh, that's so good. I think with home, though, I'm going to put in mm, just like I feel like I'm doing this in a little backwards here, but um, I don't want to forget to put these experiences in. So I think this is where she's going to note that her father is no longer, like she has a realization that her father has passed. So she just writes, 100 years have passed in the blink of an eye, and so too has Papa. Yeah, I know. It is really sad. Mm. Yeah, I wasn't really sure, like, how, I guess, like, how some of the mortal characters in early on would like, um, their passing would happen, but this is, like, she doesn't even get a chance to say goodbye because she took a 20-minute nap that lasted 100 years, but at the same time, I don't know if she would have been able to go back anyway because, she was afraid, of harming her father, so, um, but here we're gonna put a humorous twist on it with the, 20-minute nap. Alright, just gonna 100 years, my bad. Sleeping in bed. Oh my gosh. All right. So Mila writes, it was really quite boring living in the mountains with Stanislav and Fyodor. All they do is bicker. One day I decided to take a short nap while they argued. When I awoke, apparently 100 years had passed. It was very rude of them not to have not woken me up. All right. Um, so 100 years. This is the first time that a huge chunk of time has passed for Mila. Unfortunately, every mortal that was in her life is now deceased, including her father. So she's woken up. Um, she's basically skipped over all the Mongolian uh, invasions and wars that have happened in the region, which is what she wanted. I mean, she did intend for that part to happen. I don't think when she took this little nap, she expected to sleep through 100 years of history, but I guess that's what happens when you're a vampire. Um, I am going to take a quick bio break, and then we will be back following with the unlife of Mila Lugosi um, as we go through some more prompts and yeah, figure out what's happening next. I think she still has her nobility title, so we'll see if that gets her anywhere. But she's also very skilled at navigation and phlebotomy right now. So, all right, I will be back in about 5-ish minutes. All right. All right, I am back from the break, and I'm currently playing Thousand-Year-Old Vampire, but playing it sort of what we do in the Shadow style, because I didn't want to be too serious because my channel is I don't know, like there's definitely moments of gravitas and seriousness in the storytelling, but I don't want to go too dark, so I decided, and I'm also a really big fan of what we do in the shadows. Yeah, so I'm playing a character named Mila Lugosi, so named by Jane the Geek. I love that name. And yeah, if you're following along, feel free to jump into chat when there's moments to um, help with historical research or just like writing prompts or um, character names even. So far we, we've got a couple vampires. Their names are abbreviated to Stanley and Jeff, but um, their longer names are Stanislav and Fyodor. Um, yeah, I let me just get into my gonna jump into my journal here. Well, actually, let me do a quick recap. So we during the first half, we what happened? Mila has uh, taken up phlebotomy, um, sort of bloodletting, which she learned through a barber surgeon. She's in medieval times at this moment. Um, she had also taken up a manor because she got the nobility title of a no longer living noble because it was either one of the Strigoi who Stanley or Jeff, um, they they had this title and she convinced them to give it to her. So they were living in this manor, but then Mongolian. We did some research, and from this time period in this region, there were lots of wars and conflicts with the Mongolian Empire. So decided that riders come through the area. Mila does not want to deal with any of that. Um, yeah, because reasons. Jane. Um, so they fled to the mountains where Stanislav and Fyodor spent most of their time bickering, and Mila got tired of it, so she decided to take a brief nap, as you do, and woke up 100 years later. So all of her mortal um, connections were crossed off in the first half here, and she's just woken up from her 100-year nap. Um, so now we're going to roll again to see what prompt happens next. So if you're not familiar with this game, it is a game of journal. It can be journaling, it can be quick play, so you don't necessarily have to play with the journal. But I love the journal aspect, so that is what I'm doing with this playthrough. And I rolled a 0. My D10 was a 4. My D6 was a 4. So I stay in place, and that means I take the second prompt in this entry here. You recognize. Let me change my view here so you can actually see what I'm seeing as well. All right, so the second prompt here is you recognize the descendant of a dead mortal who features in one of your memories and feel compelled to make their acquaintance. How do you share knowledge about their ancestor without revealing your monstrous nature? How is this conversation awkward? Gain a contemporary and unexpected skill. Create a mortal character, a new friend. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I have a couple thoughts here. Because the mortals that we have are, so there's Mila's father, and she was the only child, so that can't be it. Baba Stasia also did not have children, um, and so that leaves Alton the Rash or Baba Stasia's cat Invictus. um, I don't know. The cat, the cat. I think that would be funny. Yes. All right. So um, we have to name the cat. I just think I think it, given our choices, I don't think that I, would Mila really want to you know befriend the ancestor of Alton the Rash? I'm not sure about that, but an ancestor of Invictus the cat, probably. So let's feel like let's name the cat. What is the skill that we get? feel like, there's probably something about the cat too, like, maybe it's one of those cats that has the 8 digits. Um, an unexpected skill. So I don't know if it necessarily has to be, related to the cat per se. Um, it could be a skill that helps, to hide her monstrous nature, or, um, is this conversation awkward? I mean, just gonna be talking to a cat, right? Animal magnetism, one with nature. Yeah, the idea that because she was really great at, horse handling. Um, she kind of lost it early on when she was transitioning to become this vampire. Um, but I like the idea that she's able to mask it a little bit and maybe can, yeah, connect with animals, in some way. Um, I'm gonna go with spice too because I feel like spice is like, there's um, from this time period, I think spice was very valuable. Um, all right, so we have a cat named Spice. Um, what is the word for, what when cats have 8 digits, 8 toes, beans, called polydactyl. That's it. Yes, something dactyl, polydactyl. All right. So we're gonna have add spice here. All right, and then we're gonna add a skill, which is, aw, it's cute. I bet you their little paw prints look, extra cute with that extra beam. Um, let's go with animal magnetism. All right, and then we need to put this in here somewhere. Old friend's gift, I think, is what I'm gonna put it under. Very soon, one of these memories is gonna have to go. So under old friend's gift, All right, here we go. So, just in the memory, this experience is, I have befriended, I have befriended and taken in a descendant of Invictus, the cat, who once kept Babustasia company. And then I need to write an actual response or journal entry about this cat who just shows up and how it's awkward. I mean, it's going to be awkward because, just talking to a cat. Okay, so this is after she wakes up from her 100-year nap. Um, right, what else do I have to write in here? How do you share knowledge about their ancestor? Okay, so I knew your great 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 grandma. Yes. Um, so Mila writes, descending from the mountains, I was curious to see what changes had taken place in the village of my origin. I was greeted by the spitting image of Baba Stasia's cat Invictus. She even had 8 toes. She would not leave my side, so I whispered to her as we toured through the village at night. Speaking to a cat struck me as odd at the start. Perhaps my 100-year slumber made me yearn for mortal company. I, des- I have decided to bring her home and name her Spice, a valued commodity. All right, so we have Spice the cat. Probably not going to live for very long, sadly, but we have Spice the cat here, or maybe somehow cats can become vampires. Oh my gosh, imagine. All right, I'm gonna roll my dice again. This time I got a 7 and a 2, so 7 minus 2 is 5, brings us to 36. All right, the deceptions you practice fool even yourself. Combine any 3 traits to fabricate an experience that you believe to be true. That's an interesting prompt. Deceptions you practice fool even yourself. Combine any 3 traits to fabricate an experience that you believe to be true. All right, so let's go back to skills. I'm gonna say Spice does need to. Can you imagine trying to remember all your experiences over the centuries? Yeah, I agree, Andy. I feel like this is a really great prompt because it's so true, right? Like you probably misremember a lot or make up a lot of things, right? Um, I think in this case, it's going to be, I think it makes sense that predatory reflexes, animal magnetism, and phlebotomy kind of combine. Um, I am unclear about this prompt. So, are, I don't think I actually have to. Oh, 3 traits. Actually, it doesn't have to be skills. It can be 3 traits, generally speaking. So the traits are um, skills, resources, etc. Let me just go back here. So there are 5 different traits: memories, skills, resources, characters, and marks. Um, all right. Hmm. This is a really good one, but it's also, I don't know what to do here. Maybe she, with the name, title, claim, and navigation, and something else. And her mark. Maybe she actually believes that she was born a noble um, who um, who sailed and um, got some sort of injury in her leg. Or something to do with the evil eye dagger. Oh, this is tough. A noble. She she thinks she actually is a noble. Um, because of the title claim. She understands navigation because she thinks that she um, was an explorer who also had this evil eye dagger um, made for her travels, I think. All right, let's try that. Where do we put this though? I think it's going to have to erase something because the only space I have left is under what I've put as enemies. So I think we're gonna probably lose this one. Or maybe I leave this one open so that I have extra spaces there. Maybe we'll lose memories of home. What do we think, chat? I think it's I think it's probably sad that she loses the memories of home, but also I think it makes sense that she just wants to bury those memories. So what I'll do is, can I erase? Nope, that doesn't work. Um, put a red X here. Or no, hold on. I think it would conflict if her occupation. Yeah, I think there's a conflict there. I'm gonna scratch that. I'm gonna cross this one out, occupation, and then replace that with this new memory of her origin story. Um, let's look at some titles from Nobility titles in Eastern Europe. Let's see. See, Russia. I don't want the title to be too high, so I've got like kings and princes, like grand prince, Russian nobility. Could look that up. Okay, let's try that. All right, what are some names here? Titled Prince, Count, Baron. What is this? Boyar. I think I'm just gonna give her Baroness. Oh, thank you, Jane, for all that. um, Prince or Duke. Where's our noble was called Devorian. Dorian. Dorian. I will give her a title, so Baroness. Yeah, I know, right? It's when you're doing a quick search like this, you never know if there's accuracy. I want to come up with some sort of made up village. Um, just looking at Google here, I don't know if this is a real place name or maybe I'm just reading it wrong. It looks like Nastia. Nasty, yeah. Nastia. I don't know if you can hear my little guy. Okay, I hope you're having fun playing Keepy Uppy. Yeah, it's a holiday here, so he's home from preschool. Gosh. Yeah, he'd be happy by himself. Yeah, we went to one of his friend's birthday parties yesterday. So, and in the little loot bag, there's a balloon that we inflated. So he's been playing with that. Baroness of I I don't know. I'm at a loss here. Her name. Um, I just make up something here. Baroness of Holga. An explorer. The so name for evil eye. I can't remember what it is now. Nazar. All right, so her new origin is, let me just highlight this so I've got. I am Mila Lugosi, Baroness of Holga, an explorer gifted with the protection of a Nazar dagger. So yeah, she, I, I guess I need to, do I need to write a journal? I think I have to write a journal entry for that too. Or maybe it's just like a memory. I'm not clear. Um, maybe I will write a journal entry just to make up like that time I was exploring such and such. All right, here we go. Um, Memories of life before come to me at inopportune times. While we were out hunting last night, the stars reminded me of navigating through the region, my Nazar dagger glinting in the sheath on my forearm. Such a strange and random recollection of my life as a baroness who sought adventure, when my life is now mostly telling Stanislav and you, Fyodor, to quiet down lest they scare away our victims. So completely fabricated memory of life as a baroness traveling through this region here. Um, I'm not. I think maybe I'll roll for the next prompt. I'm not sure if I'll have time to actually um, write it, but we can at least discuss. 6 minus 1 is a 5, so that brings us to 41. Ooh, okay. Your body is distant from human concerns. Lose a memory slot. Erase your oldest extant name. Well, I think there is. Oh, I think she's no longer Mila Lugosi. I think she probably goes by Baroness Holga now. Um, all right. Um, Gosh. Um, Lose a memory slot. Okay. I think I am going to revise this so that there's no Mila Lugosi here then. I think what I do is I put an X over here. Or maybe I'll cross it out in red. Um, and then I have to lose a memory slot. So yeah, I think I'm going to lose the home memory slot now. Going to have to reorganize some of this, I think, because just to make sense of it in the journal here. So now Mila Lugosi is no more. It's a good question. Your body is distant from human concerns. I don't quite understand either. Oh, your character's starting over. Yeah, yeah. So I guess narratively this is also making sense. Like she sort of lost track of who she actually is, and she's made up a memory that she fully believes. Um, yeah, so I think I don't know what I would write in my journal prompt in the journal for this. Um, maybe I'll just have sort of like a continuation of the last journal entry. There is some sort of setting that causes, I think it's when I cross my T's, it makes it cross out, delete something. I have to figure that out. I have no recollection. Not happy with that. What am I doing? All right, final entry here. Yeah, social spy, I like that. She's not starting over, but she's losing bits of who she was. Yeah, after that 100-year nap for sure. All right, this is going to be the last one that I read, and then I'm going to wrap up. All right, so not Mila, Baroness, writes, strangely, I have no recollection of my family. Did I marry, have children? Were we happy? I suppose it matters not. Now I have spice, and these two strigoi, who are like children. This is not a family? Yeah, so that is it for a 1,000-year-old vampire for this week. I yeah, I'm really immensely enjoying this game. I'm glad that I am glad that I waited to dig into a meteor, the meteor one. I liked playing some of the short ones, and and then sort of working my way up to a big one like this. And I appreciate, as always, everyone in chat helping with research and names and world building and just like having some fun conversations. Yeah, I will be back on Game Design Lab on Wednesday, and we're going to be designing. Um, yeah, I know, Andy. Gonna have to really think hard about calling her Baroness instead of Mila, even though it's only been like like a couple sessions. Um, Game Design Lab, we're going to continue designing Frederick Serpentine. He is a vampire. He's become the main villain of of what do you call it? Uh, our our world that we're building. Um, so yeah, hopefully I'll see you there. Otherwise, I will see you online. Hope you're having a good start to your week, and I appreciate all of you coming in here. Yeah, so take care, everyone.